This School of Hard Knocks fight is our main event. It is a professional title fight in the light heavyweight division.
Giving space with that front head pinch and now landing a good knee here. He said he expects it to be a tough, long fight. He knew it was a legit stoppage. He knew this fight was over.
What does it take to become a fighter? Is it physical strength or technical skill? Is it immaculate wrestling or pinpoint striking? Is it training every day despite your body screaming to quit? Or is it something deeper? Join us as we reveal the spirit and personal commitment it takes for a fighter to succeed in the dangerous and competitive sport of MMA. We journey into the minds of the fighters to uncover the mental and emotional games at play. The rivalries, the setbacks, the physical and mental sacrifices, how they cope with defeat, and how they revel in triumph.
What separates a fighter and athlete is that just a will to win. A lot of fighters, they're also not scared to take a punch, where athletes, sometimes they take a punch and sometimes they don't like that. So they have a tendency they don't like when it's really, really rough, and when there's pain, they kind of try to avoid that. But a real true fighter, it doesn't matter what's in front of him, even if his nose is busted, he's bleeding or whatever it is, he just wants to win. And that desire to win, that's what separates a fighter from an athlete.
Mikhail Misha Cirkunov is a Latvian professional mixed martial artist who competes in the light heavyweight division of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. As of October 2020, he is number 13 in the UFC light heavyweight rankings. Prior to competing in mixed martial arts, Misha was involved in other combat sports.
The main thing about mixed martial arts, what got me interested was I started as a competitor, as an amateur practitioner of judo, and I've been doing judo for quite some time. Up until I went to high school, and then when I went to high school, I started doing wrestling on top of judo. It was kind of a little different transition because I didn't have a gi. It was just a singlet and wrestling shoes, and you had to put your opponent down on the ground. I thought that was a really cool sport, and I stuck with it, and one day I knew that I'm gonna be like a high-level athlete, and either judo, wrestling, whatever it is, I knew I'm gonna be in a higher stage, either Olympic Games or World Championships. I knew that's my passion, and I just stick with it. The building blocks for a successful fighter there are quite a few actually. Number one is a will to win. That's number one, is you have to have a competitive personality where you're willing to compete against kind of anybody, even though they might be tougher than you, bigger than you, you're still down to fight. That's what's gonna separate you big time from people that have a tendency to have a different weight class. Number one is willing to be in a fight. Number 2, number 3, number 4, there's many. You have to have good boxing, you have to have good wrestling, you have to have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you have to have kickboxing. Having just 1 or 2 or 3 these days is not enough, especially if you want to go on a higher stage, on a different level, because it's just a matter of time when somebody's going to expose your weakness. And the only thing they're going to do, they're going to use the weakness against you. So pretty much, if you don't have any wrestling, most likely they'll put you on your back and you're going to be there for the rest of the fight. So that's not really the way you want to fight. So, I mean, you have to be a complete martial artist these days. If you want to fight against tough fighters, you have to have everything. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, judo, you name it. The more you know, the better.
Misha's family moved to Canada in 2000 from Riga, Latvia. Seeking a better life, Misha's parents, Oleg and Olga, moved to Toronto, taking Misha and his brother with them.
I came to Canada when I was 13 years old, and my parents, they wanted to have a better future for me and my brother, and they decided to come to Canada to have a better opportunities and better future for me and my brother and just our family in general. And when I was 13, our family, we came to Canada. My brother, he's always happy, like, to see me win, to see me compete, to see me perform. My mom, she's also very supportive. I mean, of course, my parents, that was not the first profession that they would pick and choose for me. It just ended up being that way, just how everything turned out when I came to Canada. But they're still supportive. They watch all my fights and they encourage me, and they're really supportive. My brother, he doesn't really train. He's actually completely opposite from me. He's more interested into like computers and technology, stuff like that. He doesn't really train at all. He's still in a pretty good shape, but he just have different interests. When he was younger, he was doing judo as well, because judo was really, really popular in Latvia. We had a really, really good national team there. But when we came to Canada, he kind of stuck with what he was good at, is computers. So that's what he does. But he still supports me, and he would always like to hear me talk about fighting, and sometimes he would check out my fights. I don't really kind of encourage my parents and my brother to watch the fights live, just because I know they really, they worry about me a lot, so I don't want to put that extra stress on them. I take all the stress on myself.
When Misha moved to Canada, he was exposed to many other forms of martial arts, along with his judo background. And with the help of elite coaches, Misha continued to improve, even noting this opportunity may not have been available in his native country.
I think being in Canada just kind of definitely speed up the knowledge that I received in terms of, for example, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is way more popular and way more stronger in North America rather than in Europe. Don't get me wrong, there's still always amazing practitioners anywhere in the world, and some guys on any given day they can beat other guys. So, but overall, the skill in North America is pretty high. So when I came to Canada, I was kind of exposed to many different opportunities to just keep learning, and that's what I did. I kind of like started learning the skill, and I really like learning and receiving new information and then trying it on the mat. For me, it's like really exciting.
The biggest challenge in Misha's life was his move to Canada at 13 years old. Not only having to adapt to a new country, but the challenges of school and socializing with his peers. Misha soon had to learn to communicate in a language he did not know.
You know, one of the biggest challenges, I guess, that I experienced was actually coming from a different country and just learning a new language and meeting new friends. And because English was not my second language, it was my third language. So it was kind of a little bit, I thought that, you know, I already know 2 languages and I don't want to learn English. And I was just being very depressed and pulling yourself out from being really depressed and having nobody to support you. Really, it's like that was the biggest thing that I was able to achieve on my own. And throughout the sports, it kind of helped me to do it big time, because every time I would come first at some tournament, all of a sudden people that, you know, didn't really know me, they would just wanted to like shake my hand and just they wanted to get to know me just because I would win the gold medal, you know. So that kind of gave me a little drive, and I started kind of getting more people, you know, more people were interested in me, and just that's how everything started, you know. When I was 13, I was really depressed. I had no English. I didn't have any friends. I was pretty much, I felt like, even though my family was here, my brother was here, but I felt like I was kind of by myself, especially because I had so many friends back home, and when I came to Canada, all of a sudden I have just nobody's my friend, and you're on your own, and you go to school and everyone speaks a different language that you have no idea what they're saying, you know. So I felt a little bit kind of like left out. For example, when I came to Canada, I was in grade 8, and I was about 180 pounds in grade 8, and I was probably 6'1". So all the kids, they were kind of confused. They thought maybe I'm supposed to be in grade 10, but they put me in grade 8 because of my language. So we had some interesting, funny kind of like incidents, especially like at the dance. I remember. This one girl, she wanted to dance with me, but I didn't want to dance with anybody. I didn't know her name. I was just want to do my own thing, but I had to be at the dance because everyone had to be there. And some people, they started saying, oh, he might be gay, he might be this, he might be that. So there were some kind of like a little kind of troubles here and there, but overall the kids, they knew that I do judo and I'm a big, tough guy, so I always got respect everywhere I was. Even when I went to high school, I was in grade 9, I was kind of like the toughest guy in high school in grade 9 compared to like anybody who was in high school. So just in grade 9, pretty much the whole high school knew who I was. So I kind of like, I met a lot of people. Throughout the sports, it opened many doors in terms of the first judo club where I went to, and the smell of the mats and the smell of the sweat and those old gis, it was actually the same exact smell as I experienced back home. So as soon as I walked into the gym, I almost had tears, it was like I was back home. So every time I step on a mat, it was kind of like my house, So it doesn't matter, even though some guys would throw me and submit me, it doesn't matter. I just felt it was like a comfort zone where I felt really, really good. So that's why I kind of like, I stick with it, you know. Every time I felt a little bit depressed or whatever it was, I would just go to the gym.
Misha now trains with some of the best fighters in the world.
Training with guys like Elias Theodorou, Sergey Itzkevich, Ryan Dixon, it's amazing. You know, it's people that are interested in the same thing what I do, and they step up and they take their game on a pretty high level. So it's, you know, it's fun to be part of that, because I am also one of those guys who wants to go on a higher level, and having all those guys that I just mentioned is amazing. You know, I wish there were even more guys like that, you know, but we have to work with what we have, and having those guys, it's a blessing. The main thing what drives you better is seeing the other guys compete, and seeing other fighters compete on a bigger stage, and seeing elite fighters do what they do, and seeing how they do it and what they do. That kind of sets the drive and makes you kind of change certain things and makes you want to work harder. And sometimes you can see what they do, and a lot of times what it is just you copy and paste. You see a good material, if you copy and paste, you're gonna have a good material. So as long as you adapt and you learn, you should be in a good seat.
On January 30th, 2015, Misha entered his first Hard Knocks fight. His opponent was American Rodney Wallace. With a record of 26 wins and 16 losses, this former UFC fighter also competed for Bellator, MFC, and M1 Global. Ranked as the #1 light heavyweight competing in Canada, this would be a huge test for Cirkunov.
I started in MMA probably in 08. Well, I started fighting in 08. I started training jiu-jitsu probably 06 or something like that. And after jiu-jitsu, you know, I got my first fight. And when I started fighting, I was traveling immediately. I was off to Spain and off to different countries, and I didn't really stay still. And did a tournament, the 8-man tournament in Aruba, and I won the tournament. After that, UFC called me, told me to come fight for them. So it's been a journey ever since. So now I'm about 32 fights in, something like that. So I'm just looking to stay busy and stay active and keep showing that I'm at the top level. I'm excited to fight for a title, man. Like anytime that you could put a belt around your waist and say, you know, I was the king at this time in this point of era. You know, it's good, and everybody, they got to reach for you. So you're just not a guy in the organization, you are the guy of the organization, if you will. So anybody that want to be at the top, they got to see me. You know, hopefully we got a lot of hungry guys in Canada or wherever they want to come from that want to be at the top, because I'm going to be here waiting probably forever.
Fighting against somebody like Rodney Wallace, who's a really experienced fighter. He has many fights, many good finishes, many good wins. It's exciting, you know. It's exciting because he is that person on that level, who is an amazing fighter and who's very durable, and he proved himself to be a durable guy and an amazing fighter. So for me, fighting against somebody like that, that's exactly what I need in order to show everybody that I can last with guys like that, and not just last, but I can, you know, perform. And that's exactly what I'm looking forward to do. I'm actually excited to be here at Hard Knocks. You know, I can't wait to show Hard Knocks and the whole Canada what I came here to do. You know, I'm very excited. My opponent is Rodney Wallace, and he's an amazing fighter from USA, and he's a UFC veteran. He fought many big shows in the world, and I'm very excited to fight against him.
My opponent is Misha Cirkunov, and the guy, he's a strong guy, 7-2. And he got a black belt in judo, and I know he comes out real strong and firing, and I just want to make it a real tough fight.
I'm going to come out and I'm going to put everything to the test. I'm going to test my hands, my kicks, my takedowns, my ground game. It's going to, this fight might go anywhere, so it's going to be an exciting fight. I recommend you guys don't get any beer breaks and stay tuned.
If I'm going to win this fight, it's going to be by tenacity. I think he had trouble in the past with his cardio, and I'm going to go forward. It's a 5-round fight, and I'm going forward. And I promise I'm not taking a step back the whole fight.
I'm very excited to be here and fighting for the belt, and I can't wait to welcome Rodney Wallace to Canada, and it's going to be a good fight.
Misha, I'm the champ. I fought here already twice. I won twice. You're not a contender yet. You got to build your way up to me. I'm going to be here forever. The belt is mine. Nobody's going to take that from me. Not you, anybody.
Next up, a light heavyweight title match between Rodney Wallace and Misha Cirkunov. Now, Ari, giving this belt away for the very first time tonight, and two very deserving fighters in Wallace and Cirkunov.
Hey, Cirkunov, world-class wrestler, judo player, and jiu-jitsu player. Rodney Wallace, also an amazing athlete, ex-UFC and Bellator guy. This fight is going to be unbelievable. Doesn't matter where it goes. I think if Rodney Wallace out-athletes him, he wins. Otherwise, Cirkunov has the advantage.
So Misha Cirkunov with a 7-2 record, stepping into the cage to face the very experienced Rodney Wallace.
This school of hard knocks fight is our main event. It is a professional title fight in the light heavyweight division. And now, let's meet the fighters. In the blue corner, he's 7-2 as a professional, 28 years old, and stands 6 feet, 3 inches tall. He weighed in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of Extreme Couture from Toronto, please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Misha Cirkunov! And his opponent, in the red corner, he's 22, 9-1 as a professional, 33 years old, and stands 5 feet, 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 204.5 pounds, fighting out of Team Rock from Charlotte, North Carolina. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Rodney "Shown Up the Master" Wallace!
Okay, gentlemen, we've gone over the rules. This is for the Hard Knocks light heavyweight title. Obey my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. If you don't want to touch gloves, do so now. Come out ready to fight.
So it's Misha Cirkunov out of the blue corner in the black trunks, the green trunks for Rodney Wallace out of the red corner. The light heavyweight title is on the line here as these two 205-pound fighters look to make a statement and win the Hard Knocks title for the very first time. Big kick early. Cirkunov looking to use that reach to his advantage, stay outside of Wallace.
Wallace has a quick step with that jab, and he uses that step as a traditional shot step that you would see on a right hand. He uses it on his jab, and he catches a lot of guys by surprise.
Cirkunov able to get a jab through that time. Now a kick, that's blocked by Wallace. Again, this will be a very patient fight. There's one thing we've seen from Rodney Wallace, not he's a very patient fighter. Doesn't come out and try and win the fight in the first 2 minutes. And he said he expects it to be a tough, long fight, and he's going to have to survive, because he said the age of Cirkunov, and a great exchange from both fighters there. He said the age of Cirkunov really means that he's going to come out with a little more intensity in round one than Rodney needs to, knowing it's a full 5-round fight.
Well, and Rodney Wallace is capable of going those 5-minute rounds, has stamina leading back to his tournament days where he's fighting 3 fights a night, but this has been some really good striking so far from Misha Cirkunov, and if the striking continues that way from Cirkunov, I don't know if it'll go 5-minute rounds.
Wallace gets inside, has the underhooks, Cirkunov up against the cage with Wallace. Exchange knees. Now a nice right hand sneaking over the top on Wallace. Another knee to the midsection.
You see the judo come in?
Yeah, looking for the trip there in the throw. You've seen that from Ronda Rousey more famously in the UFC than anybody else with the big throws.
Cirkunov, the training partner of our current 170-pound champion. Oh, that was a big shot and a big kick, and Rodney Wallace is in trouble, and he is out.
This fight is over. Misha Cirkunov, your Hard Knocks light heavyweight champion. A huge head kick followed by a very impressive knockout sequence.
Huge punch by Misha Cirkunov, followed by a big head kick. And once that head kick went down, the eyes went to the back of Rodney Wallace's head. And wow, that is just phenomenal. Misha Cirkunov is your new light heavyweight champion, and if that's not a statement, Ryan, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's an absolute statement win for the young man. A very game opponent, a tough opponent in Rodney Wallace, coming in on a 2-fight win streak here in Hard Knocks, and just knocked him plain out. And Wallace for a moment thought about, oh well, that wasn't a legit stoppage, and I think that was instinct, but then immediately went back down. He knew it was a legit stoppage. He knew this fight was over, and Misha Cirkunov, our 205 champion.
Misha Cirkunov, the training partner, I was just saying, of Sergey Juskevich, who is our welterweight champion. So this is a guy who is just training with some of the best people in the country, including Elias Theodorou. And just as CEO Ari Tob was passing, Misha said, I will fight anybody. You get me anybody, and I will fight them. And that is one statement that you want to hear from your champion, that you will fight anybody. And we hope to see Misha Cirkunov in the cage soon. Rodney Wallace looks like he is sitting up, so good news for Shonuff the Master. And a ton of respect going back about a week and a half before they fought in this fight. We had an interview with Misha Cirkunov and Rodney Wallace, and Misha said nothing but good things about Rodney Wallace. Great level of respect for this fighter, the former UFC fighter who is 2-0 in the Hard Knocks cage after this loss, falling to 2-1. You can also check out all things Hard Knocks. Go to the Apple iTunes store as you take a look at the replay of the big punch and the head kick. That was vicious. You want to see that head kick again, you download the Hard Knocks app off the Apple iTunes store. It is available now. A lot of exclusive content available there. Looks like we're ready to throw it up to Jay Janance, who will crown our new champion.
And now, the official decision, brought to you by Courtesy Chrysler. The winner by knockout at 2 minutes in the very first round, and our new light heavyweight champion, Misha Cirkunov.
Misha Cirkunov, your new light heavyweight champion. He's going to be in the center of the cage with Ryan.
Misha will get you here center of the cage. You come in tonight looking for a piece of hardware, the 205 title, and you can see the look on your face when Ari put it around your waist. Got to feel pretty good.
You know, it feels amazing. I train very, very, very hard. You know, every day, some weeks I don't even take a single day off. You know, not that many people know me, but I tell you what, I can grapple, I can wrestle, I can sting and bang. I'll fight anybody. You know, I'm ready for anybody. And I'm extremely honored to be part of Hard Knocks Fighting. This organization gave me such an opportunity, and I'm extremely thankful for Hard Knocks Fighting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for your winner and new light heavyweight champion, Misha Cirkunov.
I was ready for 5 rounds. I've been training extremely hard. I take fighting very serious now, and I was able to finish him in the first round. With first, I showed some of my boxing. I let him know that I can throw some bombs, and then when his attention went to my hands and my boxing, then I wanted to start throwing some kicks, and one of the kicks landed right on his head.
I guess we both came out slow. That was pretty much the story of it. Like, we both came out slow, and I wanted to gauge how fast he was, and he threw a couple of punches, and it really wasn't fast to me. So I got a little bit more aggressive and started throwing punches, and he ducked under my punches and tried to push up in the cage a couple of times, and the one time he ducked under it, I pushed back off of him, and next thing you know, I'm looking up.
I trained very, very hard, and the game plan was actually take it into the 3rd round, and in the 3rd round I was gonna start pushing the RPMs. You know, in the 3rd round I was ready to start kind of like going for the finish, and 1st and 2nd round I was just gonna dance around, and because Rodney is a very heavy puncher, you know, so I didn't want to kind of go into exchanges, but sometimes I underestimate myself, so I can swing with anybody, you know.
I felt comfortable, you know. I thought he was going to be a little bit more aggressive, which would have made it easier for me to counter. But he was real patient, and which was cool. When he was throwing his punches, they wasn't nothing fast, and I could tell that he was a little bit worried that he wouldn't touch me with anything. And so I started to get a little bit aggressive. When I got aggressive, I backed up, which I told myself not to do in the fight, but I backed up and he hit me with a head kick, which was unconventional in my head for him, so I wasn't really worried about that.
You know, stepping into the cage and fighting Rodney Wallace, it was obviously, you know, I was a little bit intimidated, but at the same time, you know, my coach and my training partners, they kept telling me that, you know, that you're a beast, you know, like you shouldn't be worried about anybody. You did all the work, and, you know, that kind of kept me going. And just, you know, I know Rodney, he fought in UFC, he fought, you know, many tough guys, and he's been going to decisions with these guys like Phil Davis, you know. But honestly, like, you know, I'm not really a talker, but I'll fight anybody, you know, I'll fight really anybody.
With a big win over his UFC opponent, as well as being a Hard Knocks lightweight champion, Misha was still at the beginning of his journey. Mikhail Misha Cirkunov, a Latvian-Canadian professional mixed martial artist, had a rocky road to the UFC. When he was 13, his family immigrated to Toronto, Canada. With no skills in English, Cirkunov struggled to adapt in his new country, but he kept his focus on judo and wrestling. In 2003, Cirkunov won the Junior Nationals in judo, and in 2005, he won both the Greco-Roman Wrestling National Championship and the National Championships in freestyle wrestling. Cirkunov then became a Canadian citizen and represented his new homeland at the 2006 World Wrestling Championships, then making his professional MMA debut in January 2010, winning by TKO and culminating a record of 6 wins and 2 losses. And then, 5 years later, on May 22, 2015, Hard Knocks Championship 43, Misha Cirkunov competed in his 11th professional fight.
Next up, our light heavyweight title fight as the champion, Misha Cirkunov, steps in to face challenger, Sean Asher. Ari, both of these fighters very dynamic. Cirkunov, a highlight reel head kick knockout to win the title against UFC veteran Rodney Wallace.
Yeah, and Asher has 2 titles in other promotions. He's a really good athlete. We're going to see what he can do against Cirkunov, who's a world-class wrestler, great at judo, great at striking, and a world-class jiu-jitsu practitioner.
So here it is, your light heavyweight title fight. Misha Cirkunov defends his belt for the very first time against Sean Asher.
My opponent is Misha Cirkunov. Pretty much what we know about him, he's a big, strong, aggressive guy. He likes to push the pace. We want to take him a little bit in deeper waters. We think he's pretty much walked through everybody up here. We want to come up and make a statement.
My opponent for this fight is Sean Asher. He's a very physical fighter who's very, very strong, has good wrestling skills, and he throws bombs.
My strategy against Misha, I'm going to try to put the pressure on him, put him in a little bit of different circumstances, make him work off his back, see how he likes it, be the underdog for a little while.
My strategy for this fight is definitely going to be to win, is to try and see the weaknesses that my opponent will have in our fight and slowly try to expose his weakness and capitalize on it.
We're here to take that belt back to the United States with us. We're here to make a statement. We're going to give you guys a little bit what us American fighters are all about.
I'm 205-pound champion for Hard Knocks Fighting Championships. Whoever wants to take this belt from me, they will have to step out the game. I'm coming in hot.
Our light heavyweight title is on the line, and Sean Asher is going to try and take it from our champion, Misha Cirkunov. Asher comes to the cage with a record of 9-1-1, and this is a lifelong athlete and a grinder fighter, and he's looking to add another belt to his championship stable.
2 things that don't normally go together is fighting and basketball, but this guy used to play professional basketball in Germany, so you not only is he a grinder in the way that he fights, but that's the way he played basketball too. He always played with an edge and was an excellent athlete ever since he was a kid. And that's the type of people that make the best fighters. The best athletes make the best fighters. Not necessarily if you're a great wrestler, that's fantastic. But if you are an all-around athlete, and it doesn't matter what sport you play, when you come into fighting and you learn all these techniques, you're going to turn into an excellent fighter.
Now, I mentioned his championship stable. Sean Asher, currently the 185 Midwest Alliance title holder, the 205 Spartan Fighting Championship holder. This guy is a guy with championship pedigree, and he's looking to add another strap.
Well, the one thing that you don't hear a lot about is because Sean Asher tried out for the Ultimate Fighter, and he went there. They liked him. They liked the things that he had, but he had a knee injury that was he was going to come back into the house when he moved to the house. He was going to come back perhaps not 100%, and so he was passed over for the Ultimate Fighter, but he still has that capability, that quality, and he said, look, a lot of the guys that went into the house, I think that I could destroy, and so we're going to see what he does against our champion, Misha Cirkunov.
Yeah, again, 9-1-1. Sean Asher is a very effective fighter and said that he expects and knows that Misha is a well-rounded, big, strong, powerful fighter, but he said the way he can beat him is by continuing to put pressure on and not allowing the champion room to breathe.
Well, and if he can take him down, that takes away a lot of the power that Misha Cirkunov has with those dynamic strikes. And we'll see whether Sean Asher can neutralize Misha Cirkunov, something that not many people have been able to do.
Sean Asher, a newcomer to the Hard Knocks cage, as we await his opponent.
And his opponent,
our champion in the light heavyweight division, Misha Cirkunov, comes down to the cage to meet Sean Asher with a record of 8-2, and very effective is Misha Cirkunov. A highlight reel knockout for the title victory against Rodney Wallace just a few months ago.
He split Rodney Wallace's lip open all the way down to his chin. Basically, the lip was split all the way till there is no more lip, and that's how hard the kick was. And Rodney Wallace is not a guy who gets stopped, and Misha stopped him in the first round. Misha is an excellent all-around athlete. He started in judo at his home in Latvia. When he moved to Canada, he said the thing that got him through the moves was when he stepped into a combative gym for the very first time, and he took a breath in, and he said, that's the smell I remember. It doesn't matter whether I'm in Latvia or I'm in Canada. I know this feeling of being a fighter, and fighting is, and wrestling specifically, as he was growing up, really were the base of his success in life here in Canada, because he was able to transition from being a shy person who didn't really understand the culture of Canada to being a guy who is well liked by everybody that he's ever trained with, and his mastery of the English language is excellent. He often, not rudely of course, corrects me if I say things incorrectly.
Misha Cirkunov, our champion in the light heavyweight division, has not lost since 2012, is riding a 3-fight win streak, and said that it's more training and more training since becoming the champion, because opportunities are arising for him to continue his career in MMA and move to the top level promotions like Bellator, like the UFC, and those opportunities are coming because he's the Hard Knocks champion, and he's looking to continue his win streak tonight with a victory over Sean Asher.
Take a look at the tail of the tape. Our champion, 29 years old, 6 years the junior of Sean Asher, but he has a 3-inch height advantage and turns into an incredible reach advantage. He weighed in 200.
This Hard Knocks fight is a professional title bout and is for the Hard Knocks Professional Light Heavyweight Championship. Let's meet the fighters. In the blue corner for Pro Code Coatings, he's 9-1-1 as a professional. 25 years old, he stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 201 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Alliance MMA from Cincinnati, Ohio, please welcome Hard Knocks fighter Sean the Bully Asher. And in the red corner for Courtesy Chrysler, he's 8-2 as a professional. 28 years old and stands 6 feet 3 inches tall. He weighed in at 204 pounds. Fighting out of Extreme Couture from Toronto, please welcome Hard Knocks fighter and defending title holder, Misha Cirkunov. This bout will be contested under professional rules. The referee in charge of the Hard Knocks action is Mr. Adam Cheadle.
Adam Cheadle, our referee. He'll have some last-minute instructions for our
this
fighters.
Is for the light heavyweight Hard Knocks Championship. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. If you want to touch gloves, do so now. Come out ready to fight.
So both fighters are ready as Misha Cirkunov, our champion, comes out of the red corner in the black trunks, the white trunks for the challenger, Sean Asher, coming out of the blue corner.
Both fighters agreed to touch gloves in the corner as well, so good show of respect here for a first round of 5 title rounds.
Again, a notable size difference between Asher and Cirkunov. Cirkunov also standing straighter though, Jeremy. That helps lead to that illusion.
Similar to what he did with Rodney Wallace, he stayed in the center and he just had those hands out ready to see what could come forward, and he's doing the same thing with Sean Asher, cutting off the middle of the ring. Asher rushes forward on the double leg, and Cirkunov giving space with that front head pinch, and now landing a good knee here, another good knee, and continuing to land these massive knees is Misha Cirkunov. and Sean Asher has to pull guard to escape the onslaught that Misha Cirkunov was giving.
Yeah, what a barrage of knees up against the cage. Cirkunov now landing punches. Asher holding on as Cirkunov continues to do damage here up against the cage. Misha Cirkunov, a very dangerous fighter, and Sean Asher in trouble here now as Cirkunov has his back.
Cirkunov in a very good position on the back. You'll see that he'll be patient. He won't try and rush. Now onto the top, isolating an arm, and now going for an arm bar with lots of pressure and a tap. You'll see that he'll be patient. He won't try and rush. Now onto the top, isolating an arm, and now going for an arm bar with lots of pressure and a tap out. And perhaps Sean Asher his shoulder was out, but Misha Cirkunov is your defending champion now. He has defended that belt and is your light heavyweight champion, and that was a dominant performance, Ryan.
No question on that tap. Sean Asher taps out to Misha Cirkunov, who bows to him in the center of the cage. The champion proving why as he rolls him over, and immediately the tap came. Asher knew that there was no getting out of that, and our champion retains his belt in the light heavyweight division. So Misha Cirkunov, your winner here, and retaining his light heavyweight champion with a first round victory over Sean Asher, who loses for just the second time in his mixed martial arts career. A tough loss for Asher, but Misha Cirkunov certainly looks like he's on his way to becoming one of the next UFC fighters here. A very impressive performance from the champion.
Well, that's a performance that really is one of those ones that if they show that tape and they show the way and the quickness that he has at the 205-pound division, I don't see any way that you keep him out of there. And you can see that Misha is showing all of his sponsors, so good for him. But the one thing that I love about Misha Cirkunov is he said the same thing he said after the last fight to Ari Tobe. He says, "I'll fight anybody. You get me? Anybody, and I will fight them."
So Misha Cirkunov, your winner here tonight over Sean Asher, again defending his title with a very clear armbar victory. And if you want to see that again, make sure you download our app on both the Apple and Android devices. The app is available. Look for Hard Knocks Fighting. Hard Knocks 43 light heavyweight title fight is in the books. Now with our official decision, here's Doug Denance.
And now the official decision brought to you by Courtesy Chrysler. The winner by tap out due to armbar at 1 minute 20 seconds of the first round. Ladies and gentlemen, he is still the Hard Knocks light heavyweight champion. Out of the red corner, Misha Cirkunov!
Misha Cirkunov is your winner and defending champion. He'll be center of the cage with Jeremy.
Misha, I love the opportunity to chat with you after you defend your belt. The quickness that you showed, you're weighing in around 205 pounds. You look like a lightweight with how fast you were able to transfer from that takedown defense to the armbar.
That's exactly it. You know, I have power. I'm very flexible. I can box, I can kickbox, I can grapple, I can wrestle. And you know what? This is just a little sample. You know, I represent Canada, I have the belt. If somebody wants to take this belt from me, I'm coming in hot. You know what I mean? Like, I'll fight anybody. I represent Canada, Hard Knocks fighting champion.
Now, when you came here, when you were a young man, you came over from your home country in Latvia, you credit mixed martial arts, the martial arts that you did here as your stepping stone into coming into the culture of Canada. How much does this mean to you for the sport?
This means, people just see the end result, you know, but I train so hard, people have no idea. So if somebody wants to challenge me, you better step up your game. I train out of Extreme Couture Toronto. I teach there every day. I spar 3-4 times a week. I'm ready to fight anybody.
So the champion Misha Cirkunov throwing out the challenge to anyone at 205 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your champion, Misha Cirkunov.
Misha Cirkunov holds on to his light heavyweight title in an entertaining fight. Ari, very quick is our light heavyweight champion.
Look, he is just so good in every area of the game. I love watching him fight.
And no question there on the tap. As soon as the armbar went in, Sean Asher tapped, and Misha Cirkunov still our champion.
Look, that thing was locked in. There was no question about that.
Misha's next bout was at UFC Fight Night 74 on August 23, 2015, where he would defeat opponent Daniel Jolly by knockout. And then, 5 years later, by 2020, Misha Cirkunov had won 15 of his 20 professional fights. Misha now lives with his wife, Brittany Churchill, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, training hard and preparing for new battles.
You know, where I want to end up with MMA is obviously I want to fight on a bigger stage. When I was young, I always wanted to go to Olympic Games, but when I got a little bit older and all my interests changed a little bit. And for me personally, going to UFC, it's a bigger accomplishment than make it Canadian like Olympic team. So for me, being in UFC is definitely where I want to end up, and not just end up there, but show the world what I can do at UFC as well.